Hunger. What does it look like? What does it... Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a technical difficulty. It's my small attempt to help you feel hunger. So bear with me for a moment. Though I can't show you and can't emulate the strong stomach pains or the sensation of coldness or the slowed thinking that comes with sustained hunger, darkness is the one way I can help portray hunger. Because you see, when you're suddenly plunged into darkness, you can't really focus on anything else. You suddenly feel immobilized, anxious. You can't connect well with other people. You can't read or study or work. And you can't wait to understand when the lights will come back on, or, metaphorically, when you will get your next meal. There we go. That's better. So as I was saying, before the lights literally went out, and hopefully figuratively came back on, what does hunger look like? For many of us, when we think of hunger, we think of children in faraway places with stick-like legs and bloated bellies. Or when we think about hunger in our own communities, we may think about someone standing at the end of an off-ramp with a cardboard sign, or a homeless person who's wandering through the streets of downtown. And those images are very real forms of hunger. But you might be surprised to know that right here in our own community, 1 out of 6 adults are actively hungry, or as we say, food insecure, simply meaning they don't know how or when they will get their next meal. And that statistics becomes even more astonishing when we talk about children, because with children, 1 out of 4 children are either actively hungry or food insecure right here in our own backyard. I assure you, you are surrounded by hunger every day. The largest and fastest growing demographic of hunger in our community are working families, your auto mechanic, the clerk who sold you the coffee on the way in this morning. Or it could be an elderly couple that sits with you in church at the end of the day. These are ordinary people who work hard every day but live on an income that just won't stretch for paycheck to paycheck. Let me digress. I was born on a chicken farm in northern Indiana. Food and consequently hunger was never an issue for my family because we raised most everything we ate, and getting it from the barn or the garden into the house just required some perfectly legal child labor. I've been blessed with a life where I can take food for granted. I live in a community where food is everywhere. I have 5.5 grandchildren. Number 6 is on the way. And I can't imagine looking in their faces and seeing hunger. But my whole perspective changed 2 years ago when I accepted the position as the executive director of the local food bank and became immediately immersed in the issue of hunger. I have looked in the faces of hundreds of children who were hungry. I've met their parents and their grandparents and seen the look of desperation and embarrassment on their face as they stand in lines with hundreds of other people waiting to get food. I've heard their stories of lost jobs, poor health, fixed incomes that just won't stretch to cover the basic needs of shelter and food. I've come to understand that hunger is a significant and a critical issue in our society today, right here in the bountiful United States, where food is everywhere and there's a McDonald's restaurant on every other street corner. And I've also come to realize that hunger is at the core of so many social issues that cost us as taxpayers. The lack of access to nutritious food causes health problems like obesity and diabetes. Lack of access, poor health in the workplace causes people who are away from work, resulting in cost to employers as well as employees. Children who are hungry can't concentrate in school, which results in higher dropout rates, which results in higher crime rates and lost lives. My vision is for a community where everyone has access to healthy, nutritious food anytime they need it. And I'm here to tell you that my vision is not a pipe dream, it's not a long-term goal, it's readily achievable in the near term. Because you see, we can solve hunger. I mean, really solve it. Because at its core, it's not about hunger at all. It's about movement. It's about movement of food from where it exists today to where we need it to be. 1/3 of the world's food supply goes to waste every year. In the United States, 40% of our food gets tossed away every year. It's happening in farms, it's happening in grocery stores, and it's happening in our own homes. Every year, an average of 1 billion pounds of food goes unharvested or is plowed under just in the state of Florida. 1 billion, billion with a B. Why does that happen? Well, in a good crop year, there may be more product than demand, or there may not be enough labor to harvest it. Or we may have perfectly good, nutritiously sound food that's just not cosmetically appropriate for the retail grocers. By working with farmers, we can glean unharvested food from fields before it gets plowed under and move it to a food bank where it can be packed and sorted and then distributed through agencies into the hands of working families who need that food. By working with local farmers, we are convincing them to plant extra rows, even acres, of food that's going to be donated and used in the fight against hunger. And grocers deal with food waste every day. Food that has reached its sell-by date has to be removed from the shelf. And shelf space is precious. So unused, out-of-date food needs to be removed to make way for new product. By partnering with retail grocers, we are moving this good food into the hands of working families who need it. Meat that exists on a meat counter can be taken out, frozen, delivered to a food bank where its life can be extended for weeks or even months. Produce that is overstocked or is past its peak freshness can be rescued instead of thrown away. You should see the number of cans of pumpkin pie filling we're going to get the week after Thanksgiving. We'll have plenty. Last year, we rescued over 12 million pounds of food from local retail grocers, and that's food that in the past would have been thrown in a dumpster. And because most of us are eligible to be able to go shop at these really nice grocery stores, we'll buy more than the food that we really need. We'll pay attention to those buy one, get one bins or those fancy aisle end caps that are attracting us to buy extra food. Consequently, we have a lot of food in our pantries, some of which may sometime be eligible to be thrown away. Through working with organized food drives, we can move this food out of pantries or where it would be thrown away, move it back to a food bank where thousands of volunteers come every year to help sort and package and organize and make it available for distribution throughout the community. This is a photo that represents a small piece of what we recovered last May in the National Association of Letter Carriers food drive. We received over 210,000 pounds just in Jacksonville alone. And this drive was conducted nationwide. You talk about moving food. And like so many other issues that face us on a daily basis, food has become politicized. So I don't know where you stand on the politics of hunger, but I'm here to tell you that government-subsidized food programs are good for the economy. Food stamps not only help solve hunger, they create economic activity because for every dollar spent, it realizes almost twice that in economic impact locally. And USDA programs promote and sustain the farm economy. Every year through these programs, hundreds of thousands of pounds of food are grown and harvested at farms and then sent to packing houses and then to food banks and then to food pantries and agencies and finally onto the tables of hungry families who need that food. So as you can see, we don't need to produce more food to solve hunger. We just need to move it. We need to move it from point A to point B, from where it's going to go to waste to where it's going to be sorted and packaged and then distributed throughout the community. There are 203 food banks across the United States that are involved in this movement every day. Our food bank covers 17 counties of North Florida. This year, we will distribute 24 million pounds of food. That's enough to create 19 million meals. But studies tell us we need to be moving 40 million pounds a year. So that's it. We know how to solve hunger, but we just need the means to be able to move food from point A to point B. So I hope I've given you some information about the issues of hunger, and I hope you've given you some knowledge that we just need the means to be, and we have the means to be able to solve the issue of hunger. I further hope that you're sitting there wondering, gee, how can I get involved in this? How can I help move food and affect change? Well, the first and easiest answer is own the problem. If you take nothing else away from this talk, I hope you remember that when the lights first went out, what's happening? When will the lights come back on? That simulation of a mother who doesn't know if she's going to be able to feed her children. That simulation of an elderly couple who makes the decisions every day to buy food or to buy medication. And understand that this is our problem, our community, our nation. And then act in any way you can. Move rescued food as a volunteer. Move the earth by partnering with a team to create a community garden or glean unharvested fruits and vegetables from fields and from orchards. Move money from your wallet to invest in logistics solutions that are involved in moving that food through the channels today. Because it's only through movement that we will move hungry folks in America out of the darkness of hunger and create a bright light in our corner of a world that provides our first and most basic need for food. Thank you.